Happy February, Washington Township community. This is your proud superintendent of schools, Dr. Woodson, coming to you for the February Supt Scoop. I know that we have had an incredible start to 2014 with lots of weather conditions that have impacted our schools. We thought no better topic in February to come to you with one of the major operations of the school district that is impacted by the weather than our transportation department. We are here in our transportation warehouse today, and joining me is our Director of Transportation, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you.
You lead an incredible operation, and by most accounts, people think of schools as the classroom and what happens in the school. And yes, I get my kid to the bus stop, but they magically appear at school and everything goes fine. But this is a major operation.
Absolutely, yes. We have about 152 employees and 139 pieces of equipment that move the kids around 35 square miles of our district.
Wow. And so to do this every day, what time does the transportation operation start?
We start every morning at 5 a.m.
So at 5 a.m., so that means on a morning where there's inclement road conditions or inclement weather, you have to start even earlier.
Sometimes the night before to get things ready for the next morning. Yes, absolutely.
Wow, and so when we talk about the scope of what you transport every day, you've got lots of buses, over 100 buses, over 100 employees. How many students are you transporting a day?
Around 9,000 kids we move around on a daily basis.
So that's like moving a small city twice a day.
Absolutely, it is.
That's a major operation. What do you think, thinking about the listeners in the Washington Township community, that they may not know about your department?
I don't know. It's a lot of things they may not know. All the instructional assistance that we need, all the special needs students that we move around, all the regulations that we have to follow, all the rules that we have to go through, how big the buses are, keeping the buses from shutting down because the temperatures are so cold right now. We have to add some things to the fuel tanks so that they don't shut down en route. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we just make it go smooth.
Sure, absolutely. And so when you talk about the bus drivers, not anyone can just come and drive a bus. Talk to us about what it takes to even be a bus driver.
Absolutely not. The drivers go through an intense training program. They have to be certified. They have to have a special license, a passenger endorsement, a school bus endorsement. They have to go through incredible training, bullying training, which is something that we've added this year as a state and a district. So they have to have intense training.
Fantastic. And you don't lead this entire organization, which is a massive piece of our operations division, by yourself. Tell us a little bit about your team.
Absolutely. And matter of fact, we look at this operation as a team. There's 152 people that make this thing go, and without each person, this place doesn't go well. So we run it as a team, and we're accountable for each other, and it works well that way.
Great. And I know that the beginning of the year is probably the craziest time for the Department of Transportation because you're receiving new students, you're figuring out bus routes. How does that whole system come to be?
It is an amazing operation, and it takes a lot of pre-planning and a lot of work. We depend on the parents to let us know if their students are going to ride that year, or if they're not going to ride, if we have kids going or not going. So there's a lot of communication that goes on during the summer to prepare us for the next school year. There's a lot of electronical routing that goes into GPSing and making sure we pick up kids at the right location, and it's not a perfect science, but we do our best.
And then, on the day-to-day, I hear from parents, my kids ride the bus sometimes as well, when they talk about, oh, my bus was late. Talk to us about all of the things that impact the exact timing of this major operation.
I think parents, students, anybody watching this interview should keep in mind there's probably a time where you were going to work and something kept you from getting there on time. Maybe there's an accident. Maybe there's something in traffic. Maybe your car didn't start. The same thing happens with us with 152 people and 139 buses. Something somewhere might go wrong. But we have a lot of things in place to keep it from taking too long, and we try to send out a message to the families or a phone call to let you know. But on a daily basis, things do happen.
Absolutely. And I try to share the same with parents regarding the inclement weather that we've had this past January. But obviously the 2-hour delays and the school closing, all of that impacts transportation as well. So in a 2-hour delay, a lot of parents think it's just because of the wait time at a bus stop, but they don't understand that 2-hour delays, we're working on operational pieces to even get the buses to the bus stops or to get the bus drivers to the buses to get the kids. Talk to us a little bit about the inclement weather that we've had.
Sure. It has really been difficult with this, and even other school districts are having some of the same issues as far as even the stop arm, which is a very critical part of our
Yes.
buses. They freeze up on a day like today, and if without a stop arm we don't let the traffic know that the bus is going to stop, that can cause an accident.
Yes.
Air tanks freezing up, and when they freeze, the brakes don't work, so that's a major issue. So there's so many things that happen with this temperature that is unforeseen, but we're making it work.
If you were to tell the community, primarily parents who partake in our transportation system, which is about 9,000 families, what would you tell them as far as the way that they could support the transportation department?
I think having their students at the bus stop on time is really helpful. We don't expect them to be outside 15 minutes or more in this kind of weather, but just being there, supporting the bus driver, not being upset if the bus is running a little late, because under these conditions they're having some of the same issues you are.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate your leadership. This is your first year as Director of Transportation. You're doing an outstanding job in very tough conditions, so we appreciate all of your leadership. This is our February Supt Scoop. As always, we encourage you to join us on Facebook, Twitter, and always check our Washington Township website for current and up-to-date information regarding our schools.